Hello, so my name is Joe Dever, and I decided to do my report on social media's impact on the environment. And to begin with, I just decided to go through the positives and negatives and weigh them out. And although there was like many negatives and positives on both sides, I determined, in my opinion, at least, that I think that there's more positives. So I think social media overall has done more good than bad for the environment in the long run, or the short run, I guess, because of how little time that social media has been around. But in its short history, I definitely think that it's done more good than bad. And in my report, I go through some of the negatives at first, and the negatives I found when doing research were mainly a big one was that so before like social media, like there were a lot of like cool landmarks like untouched by man, and it had been preserved, all these places, for many years. And once social media came along and things like Instagram started popping up, people would go to these places and take photos, post them, and then now a lot more attention would be drawn to them. So now that there's all these more like more tourists, more people coming into these like untouched by man areas, now they start um, getting litter everywhere and just like leaving their trace of their human footprint like on these areas that were once perfectly kept away from all human interaction. And this does a lot of damage to these places, and um, it can't be sustained forever. A really good example of this would be Mount Everest, although it's not social media alone that's drawing a lot of people, but the more like at one point recently that Mount Everest was never explored, and like as word got out and pictures got out and people heard about it, it became a really popular tourist area in the national park around Mount Everest. And now there's just so much garbage like dumped there, and like air canisters that people have to use to climb Mount Everest, like just dumped littered everywhere. So that's really like a place that you'd expect to be pretty remote. Now seeing the consequences of human interaction at it. And another one of the really big negatives is like the technology in landfills. Like at some point, these devices like phones, laptops, tablets, how we access social media, they do not last forever, and they're not made to last forever. They have a pretty short lifespan of like 2 to 3 years, maybe a little more if you're careful with them. And this can this results in us having to throw them away at the end of their life, and they all end up piled up in landfills most of the time in third world countries where um, they just get dumped by richer countries at these places, and they just sit there to rot until they degrade, which is like thousands of years. And um, it's just not sustainable how we dispose of that stuff. And then so having said that, though, there is a lot of positives when it comes to social media. I think those are really big negatives, but really the main positive, which is huge, and in fact I think it outweighs all the negatives combined, is the ability for social media to assemble people and to collaborate with similar ideas and spread information. And a lot of times we'll see these like movements occur on social media, and I know as a young adult, like a lot of my peers like post on their pages during times of need, like to assemble and to collectively work on solutions for some of these issues. Like I think one of the most popular movements I've seen in my lifetime on social media is um, when there were some wildfires in Australia, and even in California on the western side of the United States. There's a lot of wildfires, which is a result of of the climate change and that problem. And but the social media allows people to kind of spread awareness of these issues, so people are aware of what's going on. Otherwise, it would take like weeks for people to be updated through newspapers and whatnot. But social media instantly allows for everyone all over the world to get up to date with these issues, and then ultimately do something having learned like what's going on. And I notice a lot of like GoFundMe pages and like there's mobilization, like a lot of mobilization efforts. Like a lot of people went out to Australia during these wildfires and just volunteered their time, and same with California. And I think that's really huge when it comes to like change in ultimately in human history. I think assembling is one of the most important aspects of what it takes for something to change. And it used to be that people would gather in a town hall for their or a city hall to get something done. Nowadays, that space is in a digital space. It's digital space over social media, and it makes it way easier for just the masses to just join these movements um, and make a difference that way. It's what used to be you had to show up to a physical spot. Now, people who couldn't get their physical bodies there, whether it's they're too far away, they had stuff going on, they can still collaborate with people all over the globe just through the tip of their fingertips. And I think that's really valuable when it comes to social change in general, and especially when it comes to issues that like impact the environment, like climate change and whatnot, and some of the other issues. So that's pretty much what I had, and I definitely believe that social media does more good than bad, even though there are a lot of bad sides to it. I think that it's a valuable resource, and I think we'll see it used in the near future to prevent this impending damage that we've done to the environment, and hopefully we can stop it using social media before it's too late. And that's my report. Thank you.